video marks the official video tracking start to a countdown of 75 days. We have 75 days to move out of this workshop. The building that we're using is being converted into a different work project type setup, and they don't see having other tenants as a part of this space as a part of what it is that they're going to do going forward. So we have 75 days to identify a different property, which some of that's been done. We'll talk a little more about that in some other videos, and break this shop down and move it to a new space. At a minimum, at least somewhere where we can store it safely. In order to do that though, we have a few things that are work in progress that need to get finished. So today's video is going to be finishing up the table surface so that we can get that installed and off of the surface areas, and a couple less tools we need to be using so we can get those packed up. Definitely not where I wanted to be. I was hoping that this was a good solid starting point for a while until we got some larger funding and larger support, but it looks like we're gonna have to start back at zero again. So these are the two parts of the surface area we're going to use to block off the power area and create a nightstand space, as well as a fold down, fold up section of counter surface that will extend that surface area inside the rig. If you don't know this about small spaces like the ambulance homes we're building, any kind of surface area is always something that's important to be able to figure out. So we're building in a pretty good amount of space towards the back section of the rig. But these need to get run through the planer. We had to get a new planer. Someone broke our original planer. It happens, not naming any names, but you know who you are. So that's probably what we're gonna do today, is try to get this project done and out of the way, as well as potentially install the updated faucet for the kitchen sink.
See, like there's like this gap, like wants to get putty and fill in a lot of this.
We can also use clear boat, like boat hull epoxy.
Yeah.
And we can use that to lock in the stain.
Sand it. See if we can fill with some wood putty, basically, so it keeps the wood feel. But
yeah. That looks good. I'm almost out. It doesn't have a like a hood ornament or a badge, so that I can flick it and say Mercedes.
All right, so with the two broad surfaces planed on both board sets, in order for us to be able to glue it together, we need a smooth surface on the sides too. So we're going to run this through the table saw to clear this, and then we'll run miter saw to take the two ends off, and we'll have them to length and ready to glue together should we choose to. But if we choose not to, we'll also just be able to mate them together really well, and then cut the hole for the electrical, so that way we can still get that in and out pretty easily. We got to figure out how we would mount it if we do it that way, but we're getting pretty close. Might just be staining it after that.
cut all the way across this, and the fence was not square to the table, so we get to dry that cut again. We're going to need to measure and then cut these to the length we want for just the top surface. So that's the next step. So let's figure that out.
I'll go measure.
All right. Comes a little flip up.
Yeah.
know what? We talked about not gluing these two,
Yeah.
but we could probably glue these. I'm not putting power in it.
We're not putting anything through that.
So we were originally planning to try to just hard clamp these together, dry, no glue or whatever, and then cut using a hole saw the 3.5-inch hole that we need in the section where we want the pop-up power. But we can't find pop-up power, and we don't have a 3.5-inch hole saw. We realized we measured, and it should be 3.5 inches, but closest we have is a 4-inch and a 3-inch, so we'll have to get another hole saw. So since we were waiting on that anyways, we went ahead and did the glue up for the short pop-up section. So this is now glued up, and this will be drying to glue these two together to be the section that pops up to add some counter space to the side of the nightstand. And in the meantime, we'll then get the tools we need in order to be able to cut that so that we can install the electrical system internal to the top of this right here, so it pops the power system up. Hopefully to make this make more sense, this is the cabinet where all the power is installed on this side of the rig. And this is the top of that box from the inside, which, you know, part of the door goes higher than that, and that will stay as an in-out option. But then basically the top of this is going to get a nightstand area basically built on top of it to this edge, and then we'll attach a flip-up section right here, being able to extend that surface a little further out into the rig. That's what we're talking about, what we're building with this pallet wood stuff.
Okay, so the extension board is already out of the clamps, is well glued up. It's actually now, because it's been cut down to just what the expansion is going to be, it's wide, it's narrow enough to go through the planer, but I don't think we really need to. Everything seems pretty level on it, and we're going to just sand this down. It does need a little bit of filler right here. This one piece has enough of a variation in it. There's a pretty big gap, so we want to get some putty